Another one done, 2 more governorship elections to go before the big one, the 2023 general elections. Internal party squabbles, purposive recalibrations, arguments on zoning and party leadership dominate the political pages as the calendar turns relentlessly towards decision days in different contexts. These contests form the content in the complex context of Nigerian politics. We'll attempt to untangle the conundrum. Also on Political Update today, internal democracy and the soul of the party. Who is pushing and who is pulling? Stay tuned for this and more. I am Fisaya Ogunfuyi. Welcome. The federal government has expressed its commitment to ensuring that the judiciary is financially independent, effectively and sustainably retaining a preeminent position. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said this at the opening of the Judges Biennial Conference in Abuja.
It's time once again to stand up for the nation's judiciary to reflect on its activities and challenges as a crucial arm of government. And this is happening at the 2021 All Nigerian Judges Conference with the theme Promoting Judicial Excellence in the Administration of Justice.
Judiciary as an arbiter has an important role to play by ensuring speedy resolution of dispute. As we all know, speedy resolution of justice, in particularly financial and commercial disputes, remain an economic development catalyst.
Taking an in-depth look at the role of the judges and assessing their performance so far, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Ibrahim Tanko Muhammad, says in spite of the challenges hampering the justice system in Nigeria, the judges have done well.
Financial independence is not just desirable, but it is crucial, vital, imperative, and constitutional.
The performance of the judiciary is, however, not without the cooperation of the federal government, as testified to by Chief Justice Muhammad, who also called on state governors to emulate the federal government by supporting an independent judiciary.
These innovative approaches have
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, while delivering the president's message to the conference, says this cooperation will continue towards the advancement of justice system in the country.
We are part of the global marketplace for investments and legal services. The extent to which we can attract business to our country depends in part upon investor perception of the quality of our justice delivery system. If we are seen as inefficient and ineffective, we would lose out to more efficient systems.
President Muhammadu Buhari appreciates the proactive stance being taken by the leadership of the judiciary in tackling some of the recent issues that emerged, especially in the area of conflicting court orders by courts of coordinate jurisdiction and the disposition in revolutionizing the process of selection and appointment of judges.
The Anambra governorship election may have come and gone. Some stakeholders are still doing a post-mortem of the exercise. The Nigerian Civil Society Situation Room says the process was violence-free and commended the commitment of individuals and groups that promoted peace before and during the election.
INEC has the capacity to deliver.
The review of the Anambra State governorship election was to spotlight positive lessons from the off-season poll, just as similar exercises in Ekiti and Osun states in 2022 draw closer. Situation Room highlights the introduction of the Bimodal Voters Accreditation System, BVAS, as a welcome development, noting that election preparations need to be improved upon to deliver efficiency in its deployment for the accreditation process.
If we believe in one vote, one count, I think at the end of the day, citizens will believe more in the process. If you know that your voting will count, definitely they will believe in it. Situation Room enjoins all stakeholders to continue to sustain the efforts and support towards an improved electoral process and deepening the democracy in Nigeria.
The Situation Room urges election stakeholders to critically interrogate the diminishing rate of citizens' participation in the electoral process with a view to overturning the trend, identifying that vote trading has continued to feature in Nigeria's elections and will remain if perpetrators go unpunished. It therefore calls for a need to accelerate the establishment of the National Electoral Offences Commission to prosecute electoral offenders.
In another development, the recent passage of the Electoral Act Amendment Bill by the National Assembly is considered by many as taking power back to the people. Again, the civil society room is urging a quick assent to it by the President for it to become active.
The bill is now ready for presidential assent. I'm happy to say that most of what we call citizens' top priorities on the Electoral Act Amendment, including the use of technology, has been addressed by this Electoral Act 2021.
We commend the National Assembly for the recent passage of the Electoral Amendment Bill, and we urge the President, President Muhammadu Buhari, to sign it immediately when it is transmitted to him to improve this process.
You're watching Political Update on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. Joining us now is a lawyer and public commentator, Minasara Kogo. Thank you very much for joining us.
I'm always glad to be here.
All right, let's start with a quick one on Anambra. As someone with Stington, perhaps lecturing, maybe not officially, but would you give it a pass mark, talking about the election in Anambra State?
Well, the Anambra, the verdict is a rainbow result. Rainbow in the sense that it encompasses so many colors, so many characters, so many things. Generally speaking, I would give it a pass mark. Pass mark in the sense that going by the scenario Anambra election was, predicated upon before the election, especially the charged insecurity atmosphere of the area. That is one. Secondly, going by the caliber of the candidates fielded by the four major political parties. As to contenders there, one will expect that it will be a very keenly contested kind of something. And then, first of all, contrary to the expectations of many, it came out to be one of the most peaceful elections ever conducted because we did not record any casualty officially reported. We didn't see any casualty regarding such conduct of elections. And then secondly, as against the expectation of keenly contested, we now discovered that the custodian of the traditional political system there, the APGA, emerged victorious, having almost the combination of the totality of the votes, other contenders that followed it emerged. So the wide gap, the leading marks with which the political party that emerged, got is seemingly unprecedented in the history of election margin. For example, you can compare it with the election in Sokoto State, which recorded the slimmest in the history. This one, the gap is so much that I doubted this. And then the third one is has to do with the issue of voter apathy.
Exactly. I was going to, let me just quickly add this to your intervention before
yes.
If we talk about wide gap, it's in the context of a volume of voting. Does it, when you talk of something just about
percentage
around
context,
10%?
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. In politics, you don't need to say that you want to have the preponderance of the totality of the registered voters casting their vote. So many factors are responsible for that. For example, the electoral umpire is under obligation, as per the Electoral Amendment Act, to really educate the citizenry, sensitize them about the elections and the imperatives of their participation. All the manifestos, the constitutions of the political parties, as well as the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, sections 221 down to 229, predicated it being mandatory. The number one responsibility of political parties should be to educate and sensitize the citizenry, canvass them so that they will come out and participate in the electioneering campaign. Greater number of them, for some primordial considerations, decided to neglect the aspect of mobilization of the electors to come out. So So I really commend the citizens of Anambra State, owing to the insecurity expectations, owing to the, what do you call it, the dicey political climate vis-a-vis the security. Remember, so many of the offices of the INEC got burnt, so many police stations got burnt, DSS offices got burnt. So as a result of which, people will naturally be in fear and apprehension regarding whether they come out and they will be free to go back to their homes or not. So I commend the resilience and the disposition of the Anambra people to entrench democracy.
Yeah, I would actually like us to go through this trend, but a few other things to discuss. But you know, when you talk of theory of the majority in terms of democratic principles, in this case, the majority stayed at home. But we move on. Let's quickly look at it. Some other issues as well. Perhaps if we have time, we'll still come back to that.
Yes.
That is the the Electoral Act Amendment Bill that has gone now. We're waiting for us. And as it is, do you love it? Or are you with some of the people who are looking at the issue of direct primaries and all that? Do you have any issues with it, or, another pass mark?
It's a giant revolutionary stride, really unprecedented in our history, in the history of the 9th National Assembly. This is one major giant stride that the National Assembly has done that will show that really they have a symbiotic marriage of convenience with the common man, with the masses. Democratically speaking, when you take the Constitution, Section 12, Section 14, Subsection 1, talks about sovereignty belongs to the people. When sovereignty belongs to the people, and then you tally it with the provisions of Sections 223, 224 of the Constitution, the people are the supreme brides under which any marriage should be contracted. Now, the current scenario is that the governors are more interested in going into these indirect primaries when it comes to the issue. But there are 4 fundamental amendments, 4 fundamental points the amendments brought about. But the one in contention against the governor's interest is the one that has to do with going into direct conduct of primaries. Direct conduct of primaries gives the franchise back to the citizenry. In other words, every vote counts. Every vote counts in such a way that politicians will have to go to the nook, cranny, and corners. We have to cross over rivers and all forms of topographies and go and canvass for the votes of the citizenry, so that at the end of it, they will have the justification to say, yes, I am the genuine flag bearer, rather than somebody going to sleep in his own cool hotel room and somebody will come, depending on his capacity, to purchase the interest of a delegate and then get the delegates endorsing them without people at the grassroots there knowing whether or not. The argument is predicated upon that, but basically speaking, my own position is that the governors have no reason whatsoever to complain about that, because the Constitution has given the right and the power, especially Section 228 to 229 of the Constitution, has given that particular leverage on the Independent Electoral Commission, and then the INEC now has now the leverage to conduct it the way it suits. And at the same time, the most important thing is that if they are predicating it on COVID-19, that based on the COVID protocols, blah, 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 but they are fully aware of the COVID protocols and they are going about organizing political jamborees, organizing political activities, campaign rallies, elections, and the rest, especially religious activities, marriages, and the rest. So the governors have no right to talk about that, because in the first place, the governors forum is not recognized in the political or any legal, textual, or contextual architecture as far as the Nigerian
all right, that dovetails to the last one. As we go towards the end of the program, that dovetails to the last one. It seems as if there's a tussle for the soul of every party
there is
now.
No tussle whatsoever.
For 2023,
yes.
Everybody is jostling for advantage and all that in many parties, especially even the big ones as well.
Yes.
As you see this, dance, playing out. What is the place of internal party democracy as well?
The place of internal party democracy is that we are now bankrolling the ownership of the internal party to the citizenry. This is what will bring about the issue of reincarnation of the possibility of having voters register at the lowest level expected. The issue of coming back to the grassroots, which President Buhari has been canvassing for, is one of his campaign promises, that he will liberate the citizenry, the masses, so that power will now be bankrolled back to them in tandem with the unadulterated definition of democracy as the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So power will now go back to the people, and then the internal democracy will be enhanced in such a way that nobody will think that, yes, Mr. Somebody is the one that has a say in me becoming so officer in so party at so level. So citizenry participation will be emboldened. Activities at the grassroots, at the local government level, at the ward level, and the rest will now continue to be this, like President Buhari is saying. Go back to the grassroots and then germinate your own level of sagacity from there up to whatever level you want to. So that is what we are looking forward to seeing, and that is what the National Assembly has assisted in doing. I call on President Buhari to, without listening to anything, without subjecting his decision to any advisory decision, no matter what, don't subject it to any advice. Go ahead and sign it. You have fulfilled one of your fundamental promises to the citizenry of the Nigeria.
All right, let's move on. Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State is advocating peaceful resolution of all grievances before the National Convention of the All Progressive Congress. The governor made a call when he received the National Committee for Support Group for Al Makura.
Convention of the All Progressives Congress draws close. It is usual seeing various political blocs throwing their support to preferred candidates for one office or the other. It is not unusual with this one, which has declared support for the senator representing Nasarawa South, Umaru Tanko Al-Makura, for the coveted office of the national chairman of the APC. Governor Sule, who commended the group for its peaceful disposition, sued for understanding on all fronts, as the APC is one big family.
So if Tanko Al-Makura wants it, then you should all come as a family to support him. We have come together to join you in this warrior's cause of seeing that the national chairmanship of our party is on to North Central Zone.
The declaration, which was at an elaborate ceremony in Lafia, drew his supporters from the 13 local government areas of the state. In his submission and that of his supporters, his track records of outstanding achievements for the party stand him out for the office.
Having been opportune to see the start of APC from the beginning, and being opportune to be a player in the merger exercise, I feel I will be doing a disservice to this united party if at this point of transition I do not indicate my interest to manage it along with other colleagues.
Final preparations are said to be put in place for the national convention of the party before the end of the year.
Well, that we're still waiting for, dates and time and all that, and of course, masquerades are coming in, from different parts of the country. Of course, the PDP zoned its chairmanship to the north, and Senator Yocha, of course, emerged. And we're seeing other parties as well doing this as 2023 is getting very close. All the parties recalibrating, getting ready for the final push, as it were.
Yes, for the APC, even the current caretaker leadership is facing a lot of apprehensions, a lot of challenges. What I would advise the party to do is immediately think of concretizing your board of trustees. A solid party that is a leader, a leading political party in any country cannot be running without a national board of trustees. Constitute your board of trustees. Let's have people of impeccable character, eminent statesmen that are in the party, so that they will be the moral and cultural guardians of the political activities of the party. Those people that will be able to superintend navigation of the political party to the next level of its electoral victory come 2023. Anything short of that will continue to be harvesting of wranglings within the party, because even the National Caretaker Committee is being challenged at so many fora. So it is very important for the party to have statesmen, elders above the level of the caretaker, so that they will be able to really be sanitizing things as they unfold.
All right, the Nigerian Alliance on Leadership. Now, this one is a non-governmental organization. Says it will sponsor 36 Nigerians into elective offices come 2023. The group says the initiative is part of efforts to contribute its quota to leadership recruitment processes in Nigeria.
In its deliberate calibration This is a group by the youth and for the youth of Nigeria. The Nigerian Alliance says staying in the backbenches will no longer work in charting a progressive future for the nation. The group says it intends to use its platform to transform politics, improve governance, and help in building a society for all through a developed, non-partisan, non-ethnic-oriented model.
You have to have a track record of service to Nigeria. But can we say that you've done something small, even the littlest thing? Because if you say you want to serve Nigeria, you must have done it before. You cannot just be starting today. So that's our basic criteria.
We are committing to our candidates all the support they need from the day they make their decision to run to the day they make it into office and even beyond that.
The Nigerian Alliance described the Electoral Act by the 9th National Assembly, awaiting presidential assent, as a positive intervention in the nation's democratic journey.
All right, you say no longer time for to be used as cannon fodder for election malpractice and all that. They want to actually sponsor, candidates that they see have good track record and push for elective positions in 2023.
The first thing they should do is they should get out of the comfort room of the conference center. They should get to the creeks, they should get to the remotest villages, they should go and canvass and mobilize a partnership with the citizenry. That is the most important thing.
But even the conference center is a start.
Exactly.
It's a start.
No, what I am saying practically is that they should go there and entrench their own principles. Let it be the first model party that will come up with robust manifesto, robust articles of partnership with the citizenry. From there, they should evolve up, win, sweep, councillorship elections, local government chairmanship elections, get some numbers of governors, get members of the National Assembly seats. This is the part of the things we want, not a situation whereby you have almost 90 number of political parties, the greater number of which even the INEC chairman cannot pronounce the names. But when you go there, they will end up confusing the electorates because it is as big as the praying mat when you go there because of the number of political parties. So utilize the power given to you by the Constitution, that is, I'm talking about the INEC, the power given to you by the INEC Constitution, and the power given by the various judgments of the Supreme Court.
I think it's more manageable.
What I'm saying, it should further be cascaded down to a lower level so that you will be able to see that your practical participation and the outcome of the victory you transcend, that will be the determinant of your existence as a political
party. What if we just target a state or perhaps just some local government areas? Must we target
by the Constitution country? You cannot. You must be able to have 2/3 of the spread. You must be able to have spread. You must be able to have structures within the length and breadth of the Federation of Nigeria. Let us have national political parties that will be able to
Will you vote for youth? On the final note, will you vote for youth?
For youth? Well, I will vote for ideas and manifestos and robust aggressiveness towards winning it.
Have we seen any particularly compelling manifesto with these days of cross-carpeting?
Well, there is a lot of confusion when you talk about the youth, because nowadays even the Minister of Youth, I wonder if he's a young man. What age will you describe as the age of youth? Some people, you will see them at the age of 60, 65, 40, 50, calling themselves as young men. Never minding the fact that once you are above 30 years, you are above the level of doing the youth service and then the Nigerian Constitution.
That has been Political Updates. Minister Kogo, always a pleasure having him. Of course, he is not said he's going to vote for you, but of course, some youthful ideas coming there. Many thanks to you for joining us on Political Update today. Friday is another day. We'll be bringing you another very crucial topic in Nigeria's political journey. My name is Fisa Ogunfe. Thanking you for staying tuned. All the best. Enjoy the rest of your week. Keep on watching the Nigerian Television Authority for news, reviews, previews, and interviews. And practice your politics for the greater good. Bye-bye now.